Hello, T-shirts, T-sHz, however you pronounce it, and welcome to part 2 of my Hidden Arsenal Chapter 2 unboxing videos, all 2 of them. So yeah, if you haven't watched my first one, check it out, because in this part, I'm not really going to go through everything comprehensively. I'm going to go sort of scan through it and then just go straight to opening these packs. So to summarize, for those who already watched part 1 and for those who want more of a teal deer and don't want to watch part 1, comes with exclusive dice, one of these 5 in the images there. Hidden Arsenal Chapter 1 contains cards from the Hidden Arsenal sets 1 through 4. Each of these packs contains 2 booster packs. Each booster pack contains 18 cards, and those 18 cards consist of 3 ultra rares, 1 rare and 14 commons, as well as a promo card, as you can see there. We'll look at that in a bit more detail. It's a first edition as well, just like with the first one I unboxed. It also comes with a little leaflet which gives you a bit of backstory on the archetypes featured in the Hidden Arsenal series. That's about the gist of it. I've kind of sped run through it. So yeah, let's get straight to it. So just as mentioned, the box is pretty good quality, just like Ghost from the Past Second Haunting. I believe the leaflet is identical to the one that came with the first one. Does seem exactly the same. But hey, just in case the other one breaks or something. It basically summarizes ice barriers and whatnot. And yeah, as you can see, 2 packs are sealed in this plastic casing. And the dice, it looks like it's based on flame bells. Let's have a closer look. Let's open this thing. So yeah, it's flame veil. Touched on a couple of flame veils in the first part. It's orange, sort of clear orange, and the one is represented by flame veil, I'm gonna guess baby. 2 different dice. It's good that I got different dice this time as well. So yeah, that's a positive. So let's get to the packs themselves. So yeah, let's actually get to all the packs themselves, starting with the promo card. Well, not promo card, the secret variants. 1 secret variant per sealed box. And in this case, we got Deep Sea Repetitor. So I think there's one called Deep Sea Diva, and this is kind of like belongs to the same archetype. Let's open it actually. Don't you just love the sound of plastic rapid rattling and all that? So yeah, Deep Sea Repetitor, a very nice shiny card. Water Sea Serpent, level 5, awkward, but 1800 attack and 1500 defense. It requires a Deep Sea Diva and at least 1 non-tuna monster. Yeah, it's a very nice looking card indeed. And I'm glad I got a different secret variant in this one as well instead of the same one. Once per turn, quick effect. You can discard 1 level 4 lower water monster. Shouldn't be too hard, there's loads of level 4s in the game. This card gains 800 attack until the end of this turn. If this synchro summoned card is sent to the graveyard, you could target 1 level 5 or higher water monster in your graveyard except this one. Special summon it in defense position. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the rest of the turn except water monsters. And you can only use the effect of this particular monster's effect once per turn. Okay, so I guess if you've got a really weak water monster, you're getting a bit of a buff in exchange. I imagine there's quite a few weak water monsters out there. So as long as you put them in your deck, then you're actually getting more bargain for your buck. Synchro Summon, I assume that's the most common way of doing it, so it shouldn't be too hard to use this the effect of this card when it's sent to the graveyard. Level 5 or higher water monster, a little bit awkward, as said. 4s are the way to go, but I guess it makes sense because it's level 5 as well. And the fact special summon to defense position is probably the safer bet. Pity it locks you out from summoning monsters unless they're water type, but I assume the other cards you're going to play in with this in your deck, the other cards are bound to be water as well. But yeah, very nice looking card indeed, very beautiful looking card. Very pretty sort of oceanic look. I'm happy with this secret variant. I'm glad that it's different to the other one I got from part 1. Okay, so yeah, 2 Hidden Arsenal Chapter 2 packs. Let's start with the first one and see where we go from there, really. So go from here. So, okay, we haven't got this one yet. General Raiho of the Ice Barrier. Got quite a few ice barriers in the last video. You'll just have to take my word for it or go check out. Level 6, 2100 attack and 2300 defense. Okay, those stats are okay. Quite good for level 6. It's a warrior water, okay. When your opponent's monster effect activated on the field resolves, they must discard one card or the effect is negated. But it's their choice. It's optional, so you don't really want to give your opponent options, because if you do, then they're sort of like gaining the ability to customize, their strategies and stuff. Because I guess for some decks, discarding is not a problem because you're building resources in your graveyard, and some won't care, so they'll let the effect activate anyway, and then discard when they realize you're baiting them. So yeah, I'm not really sure about this card, but stats are okay, and Ice Barriers get a lot of support, so that's fine. Okay, we already talked about this card in part 1, so I won't go over too much about it. Basically, when this card attacks an opponent's monster, that opponent's monster goes back to that opponent's hand, which can be kind of handy because if it attacks like a really big monster, then it can be a bit irritating. So yeah, we already talked about this earlier. I don't think we talked about this one though. Geomancer of the Ice Barrier. So you can't see your face. Level 3, 800 attack, 1200 defense. Water spellcaster and a tuner. Okay, that's cool. Once while face up on the field, you can discard one card and declare one attribute. Monsters with that declared attribute cannot target this card for attacks. So it's kind of like, was it Tribe Infecting Virus? But instead of just destroying them, it prevents an entire attribute from targeting, well, this card specifically, not any Ice Barrier monsters you have in the field, or even better, any monster on your field, just this one. Okay, so it becomes kind of like sort of immune-ish. Why you would want to protect this card, I don't really know. And the fact you have to discard one card and declare an attribute, quite a lot of dark and light, they're probably the two most common attributes. Interesting, but I think they could have expanded on the effect of this card by allowing it, this effect to, to prevent an attribute from attacking Ice Barrier monsters on your side of the field, rather than just this one on its own. There's loads of Ice Barriers in Hidden Arsenal, aren't there? Sacred Spirit of the Ice Barrier. Another one we haven't talked about. Level 4, 1600 attack, 1200 defense, Water Zombie. Oh, okay, that's a spirit, that makes sense. And it actually says spirit on the card text, so yeah, it is definitely a spirit monster because it cannot be special summoned. Great, so you have to waste a normal summon on this thing, but it better be worth it. Once per turn during the end phase, if this card was normal summoned or flipped face up this turn, return this card to your hand. If you control another Ice Barrier monster, this card's end phase effect instead becomes target one monster your opponent controls, return it to your hand. Okay, so you're going to be running an Ice Barrier deck anyway, so as long as you have an Ice Barrier monster on there, you can flip the effect to go against your opponent rather than this card. Okay, it's not often you see quotes in a Yu-Gi-Oh card effect, at least not in monster card effects. So yeah, as I said, the spirits are kind of annoying because, as it says, just either playing this thing by wasting your normal summoning or just flip summoning it, it goes back to your hand. So you have to waste another normal summon just to get it back on again. But if you have Ice Barrier on the field, it's much better. So, okay, interesting card to say the least. yugioh of the Ice Barrier. Level 6 Water Spellcaster, 1600 attack, 2200 defense. Stats aren't great. If this card is normal flip summoned, change it to defense position. Ice Barrier monsters you control cannot be destroyed by spell or trap effects. That's a really cool design for this monster, with the hats and the, that pose, and this just looks like one badass Ice Barrier monster. So just by basically normal flip summoning it, it has to be in defense position, but thankfully its defense is not half bad for level 6, it's just its attack that's bringing it down. I think that spell and trap protection, they should have done something similar with the Geomancer of the Ice Barrier, where it protects Ice Barrier monsters instead of just itself. So at least this card got that right. And it's cool artwork, and it can be pretty handy. A nice sort of like turtling and giving your card, protecting it from 2/3 of the overall card type pool. Not monsters, but spells and traps. 2 out of 3 is not bad. Not bad at all. I already got this as a a hollow, but it's cool to have a regular common for a general Gantala of the ice barrier. Its stats for level 7 are good, 2700. Defense is also not terrible, 2000. Water Warrior, that's what we're talking about, warriors. Once per turn during the end phase, you could target one ice barrier monster in your graveyard, except General Gantala of the ice barrier, special summon it. So you basically get a free special summon just for this thing existing on the board. But the fact you're using 2 tributes for this, so you kind of have to have this thing survive for about basically 2 of your turns, 2 whole turns. So it takes quite a while to get value out of this thing. But yeah, if you find a way to protect this thing with the numerous other ice barriers like the ones we talked about earlier, yeah, I think this could possibly work. You just got to be extremely patient. And that card art is pretty cool as well. He's got like a sort of that sort of Zamasu thing on his back. Nice. Okay, is this just going to be ice barrier monsters? Not a huge problem, but still it gets a bit repetitive. Defender of the ice barrier. Sort of an ice fox, cool idea. Level 3 attack 200 attack and 1600 defense. It's a water aqua tuner. So synchro potential, that's cool. While you control an ice barrier monster, monsters your opponent controls cannot declare an attack if their attack is greater than or equal to this card's defense. With 1600, that can be kind of helpful, but then that means you'll have to play this in defense or find a way to special summon this in defense in order to get this going as quickly as possible. So it's kind of like a floodgate-ish kind of thing where it's locking you out from potentially big monsters, but at the end of the day, they're just going to find a way to take this thing out. It can be a little bit of a hindrance to your opponent, so that's something. We got a dual terminal common. This one is Pilgrim of the Ice Barrier. So for those who didn't watch part 1, dual terminal commons are basically commons but with this nice shiny disco ball effect. Dual terminal cards, before this hidden arsenal set came along, you can only really get them from these special machines which print out these dual terminal cards. Pilgrim of the Ice Barrier looks quite nice with this card. Water Warrior cannot be destroyed when the monster that has 1900 or more attack, which I think is what Obnoxious Celtic Guardian's effect is kind of like. So that's quite a small window, and Obnoxious Celtic Guardian is, of course, kind of obnoxious, so this is kind of obnoxious as well. But yeah, there's definitely ways of working around this quite easily. But yeah, kind of an irritating one to have on your side of the field for your opponent anyway. And now we move on to the 3 ultra rare dual terminal cards. There's 3 per pack, and similar to the dual terminal commons, dual terminal ultra rares are just like ultra rares, except yet again they have this nice sparkly pixely effect around the entirety of the card. Well, we got a Drag Unity. Oh, nice to change things up. Drag Unity Ducks. Ironically, it looks more like a falcon, but I digress. So it's a level 4 winged beast. That makes total sense. 1500 attack and 1000 defense. Not great. So this thing gains 200 attack for each Drag Unity card you control. I think there's Drag Unity monsters that are also treated as equipped cards, sort of like Union monsters. So, and bear in mind it says card, so I guess that means spells and traps are included, which means this can get pretty beefy pretty quickly. When this card is normal summoned, you can target one level 3 or lower Drag Unity monster in your graveyard. Equip that target to this card. Okay, so this is definitely Drag Unity because, well, you know, Unity's in its name. They're like Union monsters. But yeah, so not only could this be a pretty big beat stick, but also if you normal summon it instead of special summoning, yeah, you get an extra resource on the board. This can be pretty powerful if you get a lot of coverage. Ooh, we got a Fabled Ragin. Level 5, bit awkward. Light Fiend, Synchro monster with a 2300 attack and 1800 defense. 1 Fabled Tuner and 1 non-tuner monster. Well, at least 1. When this card is synchro summoned, you can draw until you have 2 cards in your hand. So it's kind of like Card of Sanctity, but without the major drawback of banishing cards. Okay, but you have to get rid of 2 monsters to do that, so you'll probably go neutral-ish. You won't gain much advantage. So assuming you have only, let's say, 1 card in your hand, so you got rid of at least 2 monsters to play this thing, and then when it's played, you gain an extra card. So you're still going kind of on the negative side. So I guess this is a late game thing where by that point you probably don't have any cards in your hand, like by turn 15 or something. In that case, it's good, but Fables aren't usually ones to draw cards. They usually like to discard cards. So this kind of goes against the archetype's traditional game plan. Unusual card for Fabled, yeah. Fabled Grimrow. Level 4, 1700 attack, 1000 defense, Light Fiend. If you control a Fabled monster, you can send this card from your hand to your graveyard. Add one Fabled monster from your deck to your hand, except Fabled Grimrow. So it doesn't state that it's discarded, so I'm guessing that means it doesn't count as a discard. It's a wording thing, it's kind of confusing sometimes. But at least you get to add something straight from your deck, specifically a Fabled. Yeah, that yet again, another unusual Fabled card because of how it describes its effect. Whilst Raging was confusing because it had a minor draw effect when Fables are about discarding, this does remove cards from your hand to the graveyard, but it doesn't discard, it sends them to the graveyard. Fabled Sulcius. Level 6, 2200 attack, defense 2100, Light Fiend. If this card is in your graveyard, you can send 2 cards from your hand to the graveyard, except Fabled Sulcius. Special summon this card. Or maybe I was incorrect before, because Dark Worlds do have a wording thing where if the discard is a cost instead of the effect of a card, it doesn't count. So you're getting rid of a few cards to special summon this, but you're getting rid of more resources just to special summon it than if you just tribute summon it, because it's level 6, so you just need 1. But I guess it doesn't count as a normal summon, and it's a special summon, so you can so it doesn't count as your normal summon, so it allows you to play more and more monsters, or use that normal summon for something more important, I guess. Good, not bad stats for level 6 though. Ally of Justice Field Marshal, a level 9 Dark Machine, cool. 2900 attack and 2600 defense. Stats aren't great for level 9, and in fact you have to get rid of at least 3 monsters to do that, at least 1 tuner and 2 non-tuners. It's quite an ask, so let's see what it does. Must be synchro summoned. Eek. If this attacking card destroys a face-down defense position monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you draw a card. I think if this was earlier Yu-Gi-Oh, this would be pretty good because playing face-down defense position is a great way to psych your opponent out, and there are quite a few monsters in the early game that have really high defense. But because I guess the game has changed to be a bit more aggressive, maybe, and combo heavy, where you want to build up a big beat sticks with amazing effects, you probably won't be able to draw many cards with this thing. And the fact you have to use at least 3 monsters to do it, to potentially draw maybe 1 or even 2 cards. Yeah, I think you have to work around this by playing some spells that change the battle positions. Otherwise, your opponent's just not going to do that and just keep comboing until they get a really big monster that just beats over it, and then that's it. So yeah, I'm not sure about this card. It does seem a little bit underwhelming for a synchro with such a high level and a pretty good effect, but yeah. I got this as a super, the Fabled Ganashia, a level 3 light beast. Okay, so it's not a fiend, it's a beast. If this card is discarded to the graveyard, special summon it. If summoned this way, it gains 200 attack, but banish it when it leaves the field. So yeah, as I said about the wording, it says if this card is discarded and not just sent to the graveyard or sent from your hand to the graveyard. Yeah, all sorts of wordings. Maybe it's a generational thing. But yeah, it's good that you can just special summon it when it just gets discarded. Pretty easy to do with Fabled and Dark Worlds and Dangers. And it becomes 1800 if you do so. So it's actually got really good attack for a level 3. And not bad defense either. So you're getting a bit of value from this card and not a bad body at all. But yeah, awkward wording. As said, maybe it's generational or... But yeah, goofy artwork as well. Stepping on a poor little purple bat thing. But yeah, I've got 2 now. 1 common, 1 super rare. Sweet. We already talked about Naturia Spiderfang, a high attack monster which cannot declare an attack unless your opponent activated this card or effect this turn. Okay, if you're relying on your opponent doing something, but if they don't do it, then this does nothing. Okay, another new card, Naturia Rock. 1200 all round for attack and defense. Level 3 Earth Rock, makes sense. Once per turn when a trap card is activated, quick effect. You can send the top card of your deck to your graveyard, special summon this card from your hand. Okay, so this can be a deterrent for cards that use trap card monsters and all those other trap cards like the Solemns and such, because if you do, you can get a free body basically onto the field quickly without wasting a normal summon. But the fact you have to get rid of a card from the top of your deck, is it really worth it? Probably not. The cutest rock though in Yu-Gi-Oh, I think. Next is more Naturias. Naturia Butterfly, a level 3 attack 500, defense 1200, Earth Insect Tuner. Okay, that's cool. So you can use this for the ever great Leo Drake. I couldn't say that with a straight face. Once per turn, when your opponent's monster declares an attack, you can send the top card of your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, negate the attack. So setting up a graveyard to negate an attack has potential. Not so good if you send a card that you didn't want to send. You preferably want to send something, either a big monster you can special summon from the graveyard, or, well, mainly that I think. And it's a cute little butterfly, Naturia Horn Needle, giving me Killer Needle vibes. A level 4 1800 attack, 100 defense, Earth Insect. So yeah, pretty good attack for level 4 insect. When your opponent special summons a monster, quick effect, you contribute one other face-up Nature monster you control, destroy that monster. It's not once per turn though, so as long as you have a field full of monsters, you can keep tributing Naturias in order to just prevent your opponent from playing any monsters. Okay, that has potential, but the amount of resources you have to use, and you have to guarantee you have a big board. So, has potential, but as said, quite a resource drainer if you don't want cards in your graveyard. But there are times where you do, so it kind of works both ways in different circumstances. Alright, second and last pack, and the end of part 2 approaches. So let's see if we can end on a high note and get something really decent from this pack. Let's see. Alrighty, we got a pretty old card from Rise of Destiny, I believe. Harpy Lady 1. A level 4, 1300 attack, 1400 defense, Harpy Lady Winged Beast. This card's name is always treated as Harpy Lady. All wind monsters gain 300 attack, so it's not just harpies, which is good. So yeah, I think one of the other Harpy Ladies from that Rise of Destiny set is better. Harpy Ladies is getting a lot of good support over the years, so yeah, a little bit obsolete I think. But yeah, it's nice to have if you do want a stat boosting Harpy Lady. Neo Flameval Hedgehog. Cute little dangerous thing. Level 3, 800 attack and 200 defense, Fire Pyro Tuner. If this card is destroyed by battle, target one card in your opponent's graveyard, banish it. But it's only destroyed by battle, not by card effect, so I guess your opponent's just going to try and work your way around it. But I guess they'll also be missing out on doing quite a lot of life point damage or piercing damage if they don't. So it just instantly banishes it, no ifs, ands, or buts. So that can really, stop your opponent's combos from activating later on in the match, which is cool. If this card on the field is destroyed by card effect, okay, so it's kind of a two-way thing. Target one fire monster with 200 or less defense in your graveyard, except Neo Flameveil Hedgehog, add that target to your hand. I think Flameveils tend to have very low defenses anyway, so this is, I guess, specifically for Flameveils, but without actually saying that, just in case, you're building a wider deck than that. It can do one or two things. I think the first one is slightly better, but it's nice to have a great way of regenerating resources. But the problem is you can't really control that because unless you're activating a card effect that intentionally gets rid of this thing, or you use this thing to attack into something else, then there'll be plenty of times where you're relying on your opponent to do that thing. So mixed feelings about this one, but at least it has two options for you. Medallion, we're back to Ice Barriers then. Medallion of the Ice Barrier. Add one Ice Barrier monster from your deck to your hand. Straightforward effect. Pretty damn awesome. I don't think there's much more to say about this one. It's some of the briefest card text I've seen in the Hidden Arsenal Chapter 1 set so far. But it's a pretty good one. There's no real arguing really. It's great to just do that. It's Very simple, very effective. Something ice barriers I think will definitely appreciate. I've already talked about elemental hero nears in my first part. Spoiler, I got a common elemental hero nears in that first part. But yeah, Light Warrior, super iconic card. So many fusion monsters you can make from this thing. And Jaden Yuki's one of basically the Dark Magician to Jaden Yuki and a GX staple, so cool. Very cool. Flameveil Magician, a level 4, 1400 attack, 200 defense, fire spellcaster tuner. As mentioned, Flameveils tend to have very low defense, so Headshot can definitely take advantage of its effects, and by bringing Flameveils specifically. Gains 400 attack while you control an ally of justice monster? What? I guess Flameveils and ally of justice are a combination? Okay, you learned something every day. I thought they were like completely separate, but no. I guess you're supposed to play both in the same deck, Flameveils and ally of justice? But that's if you control them as well. So, but if you are using this alongside a complete ally of justice deck, you know, one that's mostly ally of justice, then this could get pretty powerful. But yeah, they're just going to attack the other ally of justice monsters and, you know, whittle us down and do more damage when this is weakened. An unusual effect from me, from me anyway. More Ice Barriers, Royal Knight of the Ice Barrier. A level 5, 2000 attack, 2000 defense. Not bad. If this card is tribute summoned, special summon 1 Ice Coffin token, which is Aqua Water level 1, attack 1000, defense 0, in attack position in your opponent's field. This token cannot be tributed for a tribute summon. That's relief, because otherwise you're basically giving your opponent resources, and that's almost never a good thing. And you can only really do one, unless you find a way to, you know, bring this back into your hand and then tribute summon it again by using another monster that's already in your field to summon another tokens, and then filling your opponent's board with these tokens that they can't use to tribute summon, and they don't have much options other than to find a way around to destroy them or to attack straight into your monsters and risk taking damage. A little bit irritating, but how much work you need to pull this annoying thing off. It's not really worth doing that though, because you're not really gaining much of an advantage from that. It makes this kind of rubbish, to be honest, sorry. Elemental Hero Stratos. I've heard a lot of things about this card, and it's a GX generation card. Quite an old one, but so good that I think it's been banned, or at the very least limited, for so many years. Wow, I got one now, sweet. A Wind Warrior with 1800 attack, which is still pretty good for a level 4, and 300 defense. When this card is normal special summoned, okay, so either way, that's great, you can activate one of these effects. Destroy spell trap cards in the field up to the number of hero monsters you control except this card. And elemental heroes love special summoning themselves into the field, or finding ways to fill the board with them. That should be a piece of piss, so you should be able to destroy loads of spell trap cards on the field. Or you can add 1 hero monster from your deck to your hand. Hero monster, so it could be elemental, it could be vision, it could be destiny. So many different heroes. That's a humongous pool. A must-have in any elemental hero deck, or a hero deck period. Just no real drawback, just add it to your hand, just by playing this thing. Great. Such an iconic competitive card. We got a dual terminal common, and this time it is the Fabled Cockator. A light beast, level 4, 1700 attack, 1500 defense, so stats are quite good for level 4. So when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can discard 1 Fabled monster, then draw a card. So okay, there are some Fabled monsters that you want to discard, and you know, this is a good tool for that. And drawing a card is always a good effect. And with 1700 attack, it is possible to destroy monsters and send them to the graveyard. You might have to work a bit harder by boosting this card's attack a bit, maybe, for in some situations. But with 1700, it shouldn't be too bad. So yeah, it's fine. I think it's fine. Goofy little artwork though, I like it. I actually have a dual terminal ultra rare Skill Drain, and there's a reason why it's sought after. so much is because it's a great card. A continuous trap. Activate this card by paying 1,000 life points. Negate the effects of all face-up monsters while they are face-up on the field, but their effects can still be activated. It might sound like a big cost, but not really if it means negating any face-up monster effects. Yeah, wow. I didn't expect to get skill drain. I was hoping I would, but I didn't actually believe I would have it in my possession. So, a tournament staple, Master Duel must-have. Okay, I'm gonna settle on this for a second. That's some creepy artwork as well with Dark Ruler Hades. It's a one-time thing, isn't it? As well, activate this card by paying 1,000 life points. Yeah, that's quite a very small cost, and yeah, wow. Okay, that's gonna be very hard to beat. But we got another good card, I think. Naturia Beast, a level 5, 2200 attack and 1700 defense. Earth Beast Synchro Monster. 1 Earth Tuner and 1 plus non-tuner Earth Monster. When a spell card is activated, quick effect, you can send the top 2 cards of your deck to your graveyard. Negate the activation if you do destroy it. This card must be face up on the field to activate and to resolve this effect. So yeah, you got graveyard set up, and you get to negate an effect and destroy it. Banishing would have gone too far, obviously. I think it's a little bit redundant to say it has to be face up, because if it's face down, how would you be able to activate it? A lot of cards, you can't really activate the effects unless they're face up. But yeah, wow, that's a really pretty ultra rare. Good attack for a level 5, and whilst you do get rid of two monsters at the very least to play this, I think it's worth it if you can, set up a good graveyard, which could become a benefit as well as a general negate of a spell card, which is great, which is really great. Skill Drain and Naturia Beast, what could top that? Ooh, another Naturia. Naturia Exterio. So yeah, it's an Earth Beast fusion with 2800 attack and 2400 defense. So it requires Naturia Beast, like the card we literally just talked about a few seconds ago, and Naturia Barkion. Quite a lot of materials needed for that. A fusion summon of this card can only be done with the above fusion materials. Ouch. So that means you can't use like the polymerization spell cards to just bring out with generic materials. It has to be these 2 materials. Okay, that's quite an ask. When a spell/trap card is activated, quick effect, you can banish 1 card from your graveyard, then send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. Negate the activation if you do, destroy that card. This card must be fit. See, it has the same thing with Beast, where it says it has to be face up to activate and resolve this effect. Yet again, redundant, I think. But this one's slightly different in that instead of sending 2 cards to the graveyard, you're sending 1 to the graveyard and banishing 1. I don't know, for me that doesn't sound quite as good, because you're setting up less of a graveyard, and unless you're playing something like Grand Marjus, banishing a card is kind of putting you in a tougher situation for future combos and, regaining resources. So I guess makes up for it by banishing not just spells, but spells or traps. It would have been cool if it banished the card that it negated, but just the fact you could do traps as well is a nice bonus. So, and it also has better stats as well. So it's going to be much more difficult to take out this guy. So I also really like its artwork as well. It's more cartoony than Beast is, but it's got some nice sort of armor thing going on. Wow, this is a really good pull. Really good booster really so far. Skill Drain, 2 good Naturia monsters. Wow. Fabled Topi, level 1 Light Fiend, 500 attack and 200 defense. If your opponent has 2 or more cards in their hand than you do, which shouldn't be too hard considering Fables love to discard stuff from their hand, so you're bound to have less cards than your opponent, quite often. Anyway, you can reveal 1 Fable monster in your hand and tribute this face-up card, then target 2 spell trap cards your opponent controls, destroy those targets. So okay, whilst you're revealing a card in your hand, you're still only getting rid of 1 very tiny body to get rid of 2 spell/trap cards. So that means they could be face-up spells or set traps, it doesn't matter. That's actually pretty cool. You're not really going to be using this thing for much else really, other than maybe materials for, I don't know, some sort of extra deck summon. So okay, that's not bad. Really, not bad effect though, not bad at all. Naturia Pumpkin. I don't think I've talked about this card. Level 4 Earth Plant with 1400 attack and 800 defense. When this card is normal summoned while your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon one Naturia monster from your hand. Okay, so this is a great way to expand your field. The fact it uses a normal summon means you probably won't be able to tribute summon or play something bigger and tougher, because 1400 is not great for a level 4. But I guess this is a good way to set up like a field for like synchro summoning or any sort of extra deck summoning. I guess that's its main purpose, so it's fine at that. The Fabled Cat Sith. I guess Konami is also a fan of Star Wars. A light beast tuner, level 1, 800 attack and 600 defense. Good stats for level 1. If this card is discarded to the graveyard, target one face-up card in the field, destroy that target. Okay, so it kind of works like Man-Eater Bug, except you don't have to flip summon it. And it would probably be more difficult to get rid of this thing from the hand as opposed to on the field. So I think this might be actually slightly better. It also helps as a tuner, so it could be used as synchro material. Also, that artwork is really adorable. Tormenting what looks like a lime? So yeah, the only downside I guess is it has to be face-up cards on the field. But other than that, the fact it's a generic destruction for face-up cards, that's not bad. Dragunity Partisan. Attack 1200, 800 defense, Dragon Wind Tuner. When this card is normal summoned, you can special summon one winged beast Dragunity monster from your hand, then equip it with this card. While this card is equipped to a monster, that monster is treated as a tuner. So yeah, not bad stats for level 2, and it can be kind of handy in situations, I suppose. But I think Dragunities tend to be like sort of level 3 and 4 in those kind of area. I can't think of many high-level Dragunity monsters at the top of my head, but I'm sure it's bound to be helpful in some situations. The Fabled Nozuchi. A level 2, 1200 attack, 800 defense. So it has the same stats as that Dragunity monster I talked about earlier. It's a light beast. During your main phase, you can discard one Fabled monster, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand. Okay, so you get to activate a Fabled monster effect, whilst getting a free body on the field. Not half bad. When this card is special summoned this way, you can special summon one level 2 or lower Fabled monster from your hand. So you're getting a positive, which leads to a positive from this card's effect, and this card's effect summons another monster. So okay, so again, 2 bodies for getting rid of 1. That's actually pretty awesome. Goofy artwork as well, look at his face. Alright, 2 more cards left. The penultimate card is Dragunity Legionnaire. A level 3 Winged Beast, 1200 attack and 800 defense, just like the other Dragunity card Partisan. When this card is normal summoned, you can target one level 3 or lower Dragunity monster in your graveyard. Equip that target to this card. You can send one Dragunity card from your spell and trap card zone to the graveyard, then target one face-up monster your opponent controls, destroy that target. You're getting a body, but then you're getting rid of it immediately from the spell trap card zone. Well, at any time really, it says you can, so it's optional, so you can do this pretty much any time during your turn. Destroy a face-up monster on your opponent's side of the field. Destroy it, but it doesn't negate it, it doesn't banish it. Destroying, it's not great. It could actually help them in some cases, but being able to get a Dragunity on the board with no real downside other than for this using up a normal summon, I think it's alright. Nothing to run home about, I think. And we have the last card of our opening, which is the Fabled Cerberil. Cerberil, level 2, 1000 attack and 400 defense, beast tuner. If this card is discarded to the graveyard, special summon it. Nice, sweet, simple. You can't think of anything bad about that. Fableds love to be discarded. You get this on the field, use it as material straight away. Its attack's quite good for level 2. Overall, solid card, especially in the Fabled deck. solid entry. So yeah, in conclusion, this is, for me, in my opinion, by far the superior opening compared to the other one. Because whilst in the other one I got some pretty good pulls, I don't think any of them are going to be quite as amazing as these three Ultras. The one and only skill drain. And it looks really good in dual terminal. I'm also glad I didn't get any duplicate Ultra Rares, that would have been a shame, but as said, I like the other Ultra Rares too, Old Nature Beast and Exterio. I think Exterio is also a very nice card. There was a shit ton of Ice Barriers though. A bit too many for my liking, I must have every single one by now. But I'm glad I also got quite a few Fables, and I have a little bit of soft spot for Natures because they're so adorable. And that promo, that's not promo, sorry I keep saying that. That secret rare is very nice. Thanks for watching, and if you didn't watch, then you're probably smarter than me. So yeah, thanks for watching. Goodbye.